Hello, lovely. How are you? Hi, this is Dr. Neck. I'm the host of the Victorious Working Moms podcast. Thank you so much for listening. What you're about to hear is a remaster of an earlier episode. It's a great conversation with Doctors Chi and Ifeanyi Olele, owners of Genesis Psychiatric Services out in the DMV area. It was a great conversation. But I felt like with a busy professional such as yourself, you'd appreciate it being broken up a little bit. It's a little easier to follow a commute. There's great stuff coming out from Victorious Working Mom podcast. You can check out the website, www.victoriousworkingmom.com. Working on a whole new season. Might even be changing some more things up. So thank you so much for your support, and thanks for reaching back to appreciate some of the earlier episodes. More to come. Be blessed. Bye. And on with the show. Hello. This is another episode of the Victorious Women podcast, and I'm super duper excited today because I have some guests, doctors, Ifeanyi and Chichi Olele, and they are a power couple, both professionals in their own right, and they have a lot of information to share with us that I think will be very engaging and entertaining. And I like to let people read their receipts so it do them justice. So Dr. Chichi Olele, tell the Victorious Working Mom podcast audience a little bit about yourself.
Thank you so much, Dr. Choku, for having me here today. So let's see, where do we even begin? So as you mentioned, my name is Dr. Chichi. I am a pharmacist. I am a mother of two. I have a 6-year-old girl and a 3-year-old boy. I am a wife. I'm active duty officer, a senior officer. I am a student. I am working on my master's as well. I am also working on a master's in mental health and wellness. I am working on my global health certification program in another program. I am also working with the Food and Drug Administration, and I am a member of the Finer Women of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. So that is me in a nutshell.
Wow. Wait a minute. I'm trying to write this down. You said, Dr. Chichi said she is a mother of two. She's a pharmacist. She's working on a master's, and she got a global health certification that she's working on from somewhere else. She's in the Public Health Service Corp. She's with a Finer, a Zeta Phi Beta. Congrats on your 100 years. And you're somebody's wife? Lord, have mercy. That's a lot. I don't even think I caught it all.
Yes, that is. That's
and you gotta be somebody's sister, daughter.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That is awesome. So you know what the next question is. How you do all that?
Girl, it's prayers in the Lord.
Okay, now see, people say that kind of stuff, but I need to know details. Like, you use a paper pencil, or you doing it digital, because we say it's God. Like, I know it's God, but he give you a way to do stuff. We try to find out what's the methodology.
Honestly, it's about trying to find a balance. I mean, I've been an officer going on almost 12 years. And, you know, I had kind of wanted to go to school for some time. But due to family, my husband, you know, was a resident. He was in medical school and he was a resident. We were doing long distance. I kind of had to put that on pause. Focus on just having kids, raising them, doing my regular job. Now that he's finished and moved back into the home, then it's like, okay, now maybe I can now start doing some of the things that I have kind of put off. So it's honestly it's really a balance and just try not to bite off more than I can chew. And I know it sounds crazy that I have all those things on my plate, but it's still not biting off much more than I can chew, if that even makes any sense.
Wow. Well, I guess gotta give people what they can handle, because that just sounds like a lot.
Yes.
You have to go to bed early and get up early and do all that. Like,
honest, I do. Like, I'm usually in bed at the latest by 9 p.m. If anyone calls me after that, nah, I'm just not able to pick up.
Yeah.
And I'm up by 4:30 to go to the gym. Me and my husband work out together every morning. So yeah, so got to get my mental health right, the physical health, all of that, and that's something that just started about 6 months ago, just because I was just starting to like be kind of uncomfortable out of my skin. I had gained weight from having the kids and just everything else, and so one day my husband, we had kind of also talked about it, and he came back from, I think he went to the gym like one random day because he was like, oh, I've been putting on weight, so I need to like get in shape. And then he came back from the gym, and he had been putting on weight, and he went to the gym one day. Then he met a trainer there, and then he came back home and said, oh, I met this Nigerian trainer. He said he can train us. Let's do it together. So I was like, sure, why not? Just having that accountability that we can both kind of motivate each other. So 6 months later, we've just been doing it basically.
Yes, indeed. Wait a minute. I had to write down notes, because I said I'm gonna learn me something today. I'm gonna learn me something today, Dr. Chi. Now, you said you put stuff in the head. You said you go to bed on time. You said 9 o'clock, no matter what. That's boundaries.
That's the latest. Sometimes I'm in bed by 8.
8 o'clock. Yeah, okay. Hey, God. So you said y'all work out together 4:30 in the morning.
Yes. Yeah.
Hey, so this is not only personal self-care. This is relationship goals.
Yes, I think
6 months. This is dedication. You see, she have intention. She have dedication. She have boundaries. Self-care.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. It's something that at first it felt like a struggle, because it's like, waking up, but just having him there to, like we hold each other accountable, and then having the trainer who holds us accountable. And realistically, there's no way that I'd be able to do it if I didn't go to bed on time. So I just try to also make sure that if I'm bringing any work home, honestly, once the kids are heading up to bed, I'm shortly there right after. And even if, someone calls, and let's say, even if I haven't officially slept yet, but if I see the phone ringing past 9, I won't pick up, because I know that it may cause me to not be able to go to sleep as I plan to. And I need, and I think that's part of it. Sometimes you sleep deprive yourself. And then the next day is like, like you feel like a zombie. You're like drinking coffee to stay awake, and, all of that. And, I found that it just keeps me in a better space. And another thing that, I would credit it to my husband. Like, so years ago, we had like a massage membership, and I rarely have time to like schedule for myself. But my husband, he's very good about scheduling his own. And so he then said, you know what? I know you're never going to schedule it for yourself, so I'm going to start doing it for you. So he would schedule my like massages like weekly for like a month out, just to make sure that I also do that. So that I can also, get like weekly massages as well as part of the self-care.
Wow. I mean, if we were in a freestyle battle, you dropping straight bars. Like, I really have to write notes right now. I'm being dead serious, because one thing I wanted to back up, because I think it's important, and I hear it a lot, in personal conversation and professional, interacting with patients, is that you had an opportunity. You could have let the stresses of, being a working mom or being a wife and make you bitter, but you chose to make it better and kind of work with your partner, versus a lot of people, it's tempting to be resentful. I hear a lot of there of mutual respect and being honest about what your needs are. Like what you said before, is you do what you can do. You're not doing what everybody else think that you're supposed to do. And that's something that just in that part of making a decision of I don't feel right, I feel out of my head, and I need to do something about it and enforce what I decided to do, and then make your partner an ally in it, in the fact that you put it on the schedule, so you made sure that it was happening, and you felt, and your partner felt that you were important enough, your well-being and your rest and restoration was that much important that it needed to be on the schedule. I think that that alone is something that a lot of us, including myself, my hands up, can learn from. And when we get more into factories, I definitely want to talk about how we can enlist our partners more, being clear and kind about that, because I think a lot of people end up using their circumstances, kids, work, partner, as a reason not to take care of themselves. When, from what Dr. Chichi is saying, that is the opposite. It's very much the reason why you need to be able to keep up with her busy schedule.
I agree with definitely tagging your partner in, expressing your needs, and something I didn't even mention. And it's just because I do wear different hats. I'm also a co-partner with my husband in a medical practice. Okay. So I didn't even mention that, but my husband is a psychiatrist, and we have a practice, Genesis Psychiatric Solutions, and I kind of take care of like the operations and the admin behind the scenes stuff that I take care of the behind the scenes things, for the practice and the admin and operations. And my husband's here, and it'll get to some times, like some points that I'm just like, okay, babe, like, like stop, like I can't, like you're saying all these, but I just can't, I can't do this right now, or I can't process this right now. And he's able to say like, okay, all right, I'll take over, or okay, I'm going to schedule you this for you to go and, get your time, or, whatever, like things like that. Or even like with the kids, like, in one of our videos, I talk about a closet in my room that I go to just sometimes to kind of get away and just regroup, because sometimes I feel like as women, especially as Black women, we feel like we can do everything, take on everything. And for the most part we can, but then sometimes our body or our mind is telling us that we've had enough, but we don't pause and sometimes just stop to regroup. However long it takes to regroup, it could be a day, it could be a few minutes, it could be a week. And then once we're ready to continue on, then we continue on. We just keep going and going and going. And then that could end up also breeding resentment, whether it's to your spouse, whether it's to kids, whether it's to coworkers, or just in general. So these are things that I've tried to be mindful on over the years. And it hasn't been easy, but it's something that I do try to be conscious about.
Wow. I'll tell you, I think that what you're saying is so important, so pertinent, and I'm saying this in a sincere way, because not only are you, doing life together, y'all doing business together. So it really being able to balance each other out and see the needs of the business and in the home, it's like it's important group, and you're really giving some good tips about, ladies, we gotta find our closet. You know what I'm saying? We gotta. If you don't, it costs you something. If you do, everybody benefits. And what you said about resentment in the showing up in the workplace, in the home front, and with yourself, and to your children and partners, like all the things we're working so hard for, people don't even get to enjoy us because we're not giving ourselves a chance to enjoy ourselves, to pause and regroup. So, I mean, you teaching us, like this is a Sunday night, we at Bible study. You teaching us, because I know I personally got better, and I know a lot of us are trying to do better. And you see how this is a quiet house. You mentioned the business Genesis. Psychiatric Solutions. Okay. And where is Genesis Psychiatric Solutions located?
So we have two offices, one in McLean, Virginia, and one in Washington, D.C. Those are the two offices that we have.
And I'll be sure to put this in the show notes. But if you can give us what's the best way to reach your office and online handles.
So our office phone number is 703-955-0915. Our website is www.gpsmindset.com. And our social media handles, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and we also have a YouTube channel is at GPS Mindset.
And y'all got to check out those YouTube and IG videos. It's very inspiring. I'm like, I ain't gonna lie. I was like, man, I saw you working out. I was like, she's looking right.
Thank you.
That next day, I was like, that night I said, let me get on this 8 Fit now. I ain't need to the gym at 4:30 in the morning, but I gotta do a little something. I was like, I need to get it together. You know, I don't know if we're gonna have a hot girl summer or grown ladies fall or what with the COVID, but we could do better.
Thank you.
But yeah, check out their YouTube. It's very you learn a lot from both Dr. Ifeanyi and Dr. Chi. But you know, I always like when I see both of y'all in the video. Makes me smile. So, and you said www.gpsmindset.com. Did I get it right?
Yes, gpsmindset.com. Yes.
Okay. And then in your YouTube videos, you know, I gotta do my little homework before I talk to people. You guys talk about different elements, obviously, self-care, reducing stress, and per Dr. Ifeanyi, relations is part of the stress relief. But you also talked about some of the things about long distance relationships and the different stages. And, you know, not everybody listening is in a committed relationship or in different stages of commitment, whether it's dating, engagement, marriage, all having different aspects of your relationship, and the details of it are you guys posted on your YouTube. What are some advice that you have for people that find themselves in that situation, whether you're the spouse that's away, or you two are both in two different places, or you're one person's holding down the household? What advice would you have for the person in your situation, and then advice you have for the partner that's either away or with the kids? And maybe we'll have Dr. Chi answer that first, and then Dr. Ifeanyi can give his answer.
Okay, so, you know, just to give a little history, my husband and I were in long distance for 12 years.
Wow.
So that's where we're starting from. And this is from dating, getting married, and then having kids. And this is due to him being in medical school, and, you know, then with me being called to serve to active duty. So I was detailed somewhere else. And then he matched into a residency program that was not where I was. So, and then we had kids while still being long distance. And so by the time he moved back to the home, our second child was, I believe, 2 years old. So I would say my advice, honestly, regardless of the type of long distance, whether it's like out of the country or in different states, it's about communication. Express how you're feeling. Don't try to bottle it up and keep it inside, and be honest. You know, be honest if you feel like, okay, this is starting to weigh on me, or, you know, like, talk about your feelings, and this is for goes both ways. And, you know, be open to hearing and understanding the way each other feels about what's going on. And there are little things that you can do to kind of help along the way. Like, I know something like my husband would say at the time, he would be like, oh, this is our season finale, not our series finale. Kind of like TV shows, like, where it's like, oh, you know, this is, this is just a temporary thing. It's not forever. And then times where he would be feeling like, oh, this is too much. I would say, like, just keep going. 10, 15 years from now, this will be a distant memory.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Victorious Working Mom Podcast. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe, share, and leave an iTunes review. Until next time.